first time I touched my daughter, it was 5 days after she was born. 5 days of standing still. 5 days of watching machines breathe for her while I learned how to breathe at all. The NICU nurse slid her hand through the opening of the incubator and nodded. "You can touch her now." That sentence felt heavier than gravity. My fingers trembled as I reached inside, terrified that even air might hurt her. She weighed 2 pounds, 4 ounces. Her skin was almost translucent, veins like delicate blue threads beneath porcelain. Her chest rose and fell in shallow, stubborn motions, each one a quiet act of defiance. No one prepares you for this version of motherhood. You imagine crying in a delivery room, holding your baby immediately, photos sent to family, congratulations flooding in. Instead, I sat in a plastic chair surrounded by alarms I didn't understand, forcing myself to breathe quietly so I wouldn't disturb the fragile rhythm keeping my daughter alive. And I was alone. Not emotionally, physically. No visitors, no footsteps down the hallway, no whispered prayers at her bedside. Just me, a duffel bag, cafeteria coffee, and a baby fighting for every breath. When she was born premature, I sent a message to the family group chat. "We're in the NICU. Please pray." I stared at my phone after pressing send, waiting for it to light up with love. It didn't. The only response came from my Aunt Brenda. 3 photos: Hawaii, her bare feet in white sand, a pina colada sweating in the sun, a sunset bleeding gold into the ocean. Caption: "Best view ever." No mention of my daughter, no question, no concern, just paradise. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw the phone across the room. But my baby was fighting to live, and I couldn't fall apart. She needed me anchored, steady, present. Days passed, then weeks. No one followed up. Not my brother, the same one I once drove 5 hours to rescue after a breakup. Not my cousin Liz, who lived on my couch when she lost her job while I quietly paid her rent. Not Brenda's daughter, who stayed in my guest room for a semester while finding herself. 31 days. I ate vending machine dinners, showered in the hospital family center, changed clothes from the same duffel bag, watched my daughter through glass like she existed in another universe. She had a name, Riley. No one ever asked what it was. On day 31, I sat in my usual corner of the hospital cafeteria, holding a cold cup of coffee, scrolling through photos of Riley on my phone. She looked stronger, still wired, still tiny, but there was something new in her eyes. Hope. That's when my phone lit up. 84 missed calls. I didn't hear it ring, didn't feel it vibrate, just the glow of notifications like a warning I hadn't earned. Most were from my brother. The last message read, "Answer. This is bad." For the first time in weeks, I didn't panic. I set my coffee down, took one slow breath, and called him back. He answered immediately, out of breath, voice shaking, chaos in the background. "Dad collapsed," he said. "Brain bleed. Emergency surgery. We don't know if he'll make it." I asked who was with him. Mom, Brenda, cousins, even Liz. Everyone could make it now. Then came the part I expected. "We need you," he said. "Mom's falling apart." Not, "How's Riley?" Not, "Are you okay?" Just need. I reminded him where I had been for 31 days, that my daughter weighed barely 2 pounds at birth, that I'd been alone beside an incubator while the rest of them lived their lives uninterrupted. I asked if he remembered my message. He said things had been busy. Busy. I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. "I'm not leaving Riley," I said. "Not now. Not for this." Then I hung up. He called again. I let it ring. Texts followed. Begging, guilt, confusion. I deleted them one by one. What I felt wasn't anger anymore. It was clarity. For years, I had been the fixer, the safety net, the one who paid, remembered, rescued. I gave without counting, loved without conditions. And when my daughter was on life support, they vanished. So I turned my phone off and walked upstairs. Riley was asleep, arms floating slightly outward like she was drifting in water. Her heart rate was steady. For the first time, she was breathing without the CPAP. Something settled inside me then. I wasn't responsible for saving anyone anymore. The next 2 days were quiet, too quiet. No updates about Dad, No concern about Riley. The silence returned the moment they realized I wasn't coming. Then Brenda showed up. She didn't call, didn't text, just dropped off expensive cookies at the nurse's station, still wearing sunglasses, and left without asking to see Riley. That was her version of showing up. Later, my brother texted, "So you're just cutting everyone off after everything we've done for you?" I stared at the message and thought about the loans, the tuition payments, the grocery deliveries, the hours I spent holding everyone together. I replied once, "You left me alone when my daughter was fighting to live. I'm just doing what you taught me." Then I blocked him. That night, I logged into accounts I had quietly been supporting for years. Tuition payments, rent assistance. I turned them off. No announcement, no explanation. Let reality arrive on its own. Messages came quickly after that. Confusion, panic, flowers, emojis. I ignored them all, because while they were scrambling, Riley was gaining weight, breathing stronger, wrapping her tiny hand around my finger like she understood exactly what she was surviving. 6 weeks later, my grandfather called. No small talk, just truth. He knew everything. He told me he was rewriting his will, leaving everything not to me, but to Riley. "She's the only innocent one left," he said, "and you are the only one holding this family together. When you stopped carrying them, everything collapsed." The group chat exploded the next morning. No one mentioned Riley, only money, property, fairness. I didn't respond. Instead, I held my daughter as she slept against my chest, her heartbeat steady and warm and real. This wasn't revenge. This was consequence. 2 weeks later, Riley was discharged. We moved across the country without announcement. A new hospital, a new beginning, a life built quietly, intentionally, without anyone who disappeared when it mattered. I posted photos, not for them, but for us. First naps, first smiles. A baby who had learned to fight. They watched. I know they did. Eventually, apologies arrived. Carefully worded. Conveniently late. I didn't answer, because the version of me who begged for support died in that NICU waiting room. What remained was a mother, and she knew exactly who deserved access to her life, and who never would again.